There's been a lot of talk about whether Sheldon will ever show up in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, and to be honest, most fans agree that his absence has allowed the spin-off to stand on its own. The show isn't about the prodigy from The Big Bang Theory anymore. It's about the messy, emotional, and very normal lives of Georgie and Mandy as they navigate young marriage and parenthood. But even with all of that said, there is still one type of Sheldon cameo that would make perfect sense in Season 2. Not a cameo that steals attention away from the main couple, not something that feels like a stunt, but something that adds emotional value and respects the timeline of the Coopers' lives. When Young Sheldon ended, the show transitioned into a universe where Sheldon's adult voice, Jim Parsons, remained the connection to everything fans already knew and loved. But with First Marriage focusing on Georgie's life years away from Sheldon's immediate orbit, it made sense to keep him out at first. Georgie is trying to carve out his own story now, and the show is already proving that it doesn't need Sheldon constantly hovering around the edges to be compelling. Still, there's one major milestone in this family that would make Sheldon's presence not just impactful, but necessary. That moment is when Georgie and Mandy's daughter, Cece, reaches a major life milestone, like her birthday, a baptism, or even a small family celebration that requires everyone to show up. Sheldon may not be physically around the Cooper household a lot during this point in the timeline, but we know from both Young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory that family is extremely important to him, especially when it comes to traditions and meaningful events. And that's exactly why a cameo would work. Not a storyline takeover. Not a look who's here, the star moment. Just Sheldon, showing up as her uncle, awkwardly trying to participate in the emotional parts of life that he still struggles to understand. It would give fans a perfect reminder of his connection to Georgie without shifting the show's focus away from its leads. A cameo like this also makes sense because it would show how Sheldon is evolving during this part of his life. In Young Sheldon, we saw glimpses of his difficulties maintaining empathy and emotional awareness. In The Big Bang Theory, we eventually saw a version of Sheldon who learned, sometimes painfully, how to show love and appreciation for the people around him. This cameo could act like a bridge between those two versions. Imagine Sheldon standing there, awkwardly holding a baby gift while avoiding sticky-fingered toddlers trying to hug him. It would be funny, but it would also have depth. Fans wouldn't be seeing a character who's there to dominate the scene. They'd be seeing a brother making an effort, even if it doesn't come naturally to him. And it wouldn't just strengthen Sheldon's character, it would mean a lot for Georgie, too. Their relationship has always been complicated. Georgie has felt overlooked compared to Sheldon's academic achievements, and Sheldon hasn't always understood Georgie's choices or the challenges he faces as a young father. A cameo like this would show growth in their brotherly bond, a moment where Sheldon isn't judging or analyzing, but simply showing up. That single moment could say more about their relationship than an entire subplot. It would show that even though their lives have taken drastically different paths, they remain family who care about each other. Another benefit of a brief Sheldon appearance is the emotional tie-in with George Sr.'s death. Both boys have been coping in their own, very different ways. Georgie carries the weight of responsibility. He feels the pressure to step into the role of protector and provider for his family. Sheldon, on the other hand, is still trying to make sense of the world logically, even when loss refuses to fit into any logical box. Seeing them together again, even briefly, could deliver a meaningful layer of closure for fans who still feel the impact of losing George Sr. at the end of Young Sheldon. It would be a reminder of how that tragedy changed every member of the Cooper family. And a cameo that touches on that, softly, naturally, would be powerful without being overwhelming. Now, let's talk about the audience side of things. There's a large fan base that originally followed this story because of Sheldon. Even if First Marriage has found its identity beyond him, the entire Cooper family dynamic started with the genius kid from Medford, Texas. Giving fans one emotionally grounded Sheldon moment keeps the lineage connected without turning the show into Sheldon Part 3. Not to mention, Jim Parsons returning, even for a single scene, would create excitement for casual viewers who might not have fully connected with the new tone yet. It would serve as a reminder that this story still belongs to the same universe, just a different chapter of it. And here's the most important thing. One cameo is enough. Sheldon doesn't need to become a recurring figure or someone Georgie constantly calls for advice. In fact, the less frequent he is, the better it works. Because then, when he does show up, it means something. His presence feels deliberate, rooted in family rather than narrative dependency. So yes, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage has earned the right to stand confidently without Sheldon. The show is proving that it can be emotional, funny, and engaging with Georgie and Mandy at the center. But one smartly placed Sheldon cameo, a heartfelt moment tied to family, could elevate the story instead of distracting from it. For more videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.